Welcome back, humans. Colin here for another Shut Up No One Cares, Get Back to Work podcast, a bite-sized show covering the first principles that are going to stand the test of time. I'm here to make as many better humans as possible, help you level up, because when we have more better humans running around, other humans will follow those humans, and it will be a ripple effect, leading by example, monkey see, monkey do, and that's how we're going to make the world a better place. We can't discount the power of the individual role model and what he or she can do for the rest of his or her community and people around. So that's why I'm obsessed with being the best version I can, and then sharing that with other people, coaching other people, helping other people any way I can to live better lives, longer lives, healthier lives, and then pass that on to the next generation. 10 minutes or less show, one big idea, and then the daily 6, some actionable advice that you can take into your everyday life. Let's get to it. The oldest, shortest words, yes and no, are those which require the most thought. Pythagoras. And then there's another quote here. Focus is about saying no, by Steve Jobs. Here's the thing about success or achievement. Anything that you do in life as you evolve and you get better and you level up in your career, in your skills, in your side hustle, in your business, whatever you're doing, as you become better and you achieve more success, more opportunities come at you. Either it's external opportunities or it's opportunities to take on new projects. I find I struggle the most with the latter, where I can take on so many projects. There's so many things I want to do. I have a daily podcast now that I just started while still running a company and having our Ancestral Mind podcast. And then I decided to reactivate my writing habit and write on Medium and publish and do all these things. And I took all that on. It sounded great. I built out a perfect day system routine. And I've had to make some tweaks to it because it is too much. The key to success is figuring out a few things that you can be really good at, maybe even one thing, and then just focusing on that. And then having that as the principal way of thinking for everything in your life, whether it's your health, whether it's your fitness, your food, your nutrition, your relationships. It's always going to come down to the select few, the impactful few, the 80-20 principle, which I've done other shows on, and finding where that core competence is, where you can get your most results for the least amount of time, and then really just saying no to everything that's outside of that. That's the secret to success. The paradox of success and skill acquisition and leveling up in life is you get better at things, you get more experience, you can do more, you can take on more, and you might actually be able to get more done, but it's always going to come at the expense of the core things that matter. So the things that you're really good at and that you have the most opportunity for, you're going to be pulling from that. You're also going to be pulling usually from your mental health, from your physical health, and from your relationship health. This is what happens with the entrepreneur trap, where you make more and more money, you have more and more things to do, and you take on more and more, and then everything else basically takes a back seat. You can actually look at somebody like Jobs, who he did this masterfully with Apple, who has, a very limited product line, 7 or 8, 9 product lines pretty much. And when he came back to the company after being fired, he came back to the company that's basically dying. The board said, okay, do what you need to do. He cut, I think it was something like 40 or 50 product lines and got down to a core 7 or 8. He did it masterfully with his company, but he didn't do it well with his life. It wasn't until later on, until he finally accepted his daughter Lisa was actually his and took the responsibility. He denied it for years. His health, with some really bad ideas around eating only fruit and things like that, cost him in the end. And he's just kind of a telling example of how maybe to do it and not do it at the same time. So for you and for all of us, I think we can all attain to living a balanced life that is full of purpose, that is full of passion, and that by default says no to most of the other things. If you look at the landscape today with social media and everything coming at us, the limitless amount of options and things that we can spend our time on or focus on or do or try or whatever, those that win today in a sea of plenty are those that can say no and focus on a select few. And this applies to everything in your life. There are a few things. The 80-20 rule states that 80% of your results come from 20% of the input or effort or time or whatever. You see this everywhere. It's a power law. 80% of your fitness results come from 20% of your exercises and nutrition, etc. 80% of your happiness in life comes from a small bucket of 20% of the things you do. 80% of your relationship success comes from a 20% of things that you do and focus on. It applies universally. In the beginning, if you're just getting started, say yes to everything. Learn, trip, fail, try things, screw things up, make people angry. You're going to do these things anyways. If you're young and you don't have responsibilities, say yes to everything. And then as you level up, there's an exact relationship. As you get more results, the more you have to say no to things so you can invest more of that yes energy into these results. In the beginning, when you don't have results and you have all the time in the world and you just say yes to everything, but then you call, refine, focus until you get like this, where you say yes to a very few small amount of things and those drive all these results. That's a big idea for today. I hope you take some action with this, think about it, and let's get to the daily 6. So the daily tip or recommendation is self-awareness. This is muddy, it's complex. There's no real right, easy way to accomplish self-awareness, but there are some things that you can start today that I would recommend. Number 1, you want to ask yourself hard questions and actually try to answer them. Too many people think they have a dialogue with themselves or they ask them questions and then they just very quickly answer like, oh no, I don't do that, or I'm not like that. That is how you fail at being aware. That is how you become more myopic and dogmatic in who you are and your thinking. You need to ask yourself questions. You need to challenge yourself. Just like you challenge somebody in a debate, you need to try to shred your ideas, completely dismantle them, destroy them, and then learn from the ashes of what to do, what to stay true to, what to adapt, what to change. If you did just that on a regular basis and got good at it, got good at asking yourself questions and good at answering, you'd be ahead of 99.99% of humans on the planet. Most humans are not good at this. We're not built for this. It's hard, it takes effort, etc. But that's where results come from, when you do things that are not popular or that are difficult. Daily book recommendation, Choose Yourself by James Altucher. It's a really important concept. It's a simple book. I highly recommend it. Daily health tip, schedule a board game night and or family dinner. During lockdown, during quarantine, no better time than to build some rituals with your family. Unfortunately, our fast-paced, always connected, distracted society has made it so that we've killed family time and we've killed a lot of the traditional rituals that we used to have as a society, and that's a damn shame. It's contributing to mental health. It's contributing to grass is greener syndrome. It's contributing to more probably divorce rates and kids growing up without parents that are engaged, without good values and morals. Family time is paramount. It will make you feel better. It will level you up. It'll make you happy. It'll pretty much improve every metric for health. So just do it. It'll also improve the health of those around you that you care about the most. Daily cooking tip. Get your cooking fats down. Get the exact products you're going to use, know where you're going to source them, and just stick to it. Organic coconut oil, used for baking, low heat cooking. MCT oil, same thing. I use Wild MCT from wildfoods.co. Use code WILDCEO for 12% off your entire order. I use that for low heat cooking, also for smoothies, shakes, coffee, etc. Avocado oil and or grass-fed ghee. I use these two interchangeably. Sometimes I even mix them for high heat searing. And then lard and tallow and some of the other animal fats for different kind of medium heat cooking purposes. You can use those and mix those up. And that's it. Get it down, get good quality stuff, and then use that as the base of your cooking routine. Daily thoughts about money. So if you want to invest, but you're not really sure how to do it and you don't want to read all the books about it, I've read tons and tons of books about investing and money, and I still just feel like a beginner, but there are a few first principles that stick out. 1, if you want to actually pick companies that you're going to buy and invest in, then think like an investor and not just somebody who buys stocks. And then buy companies that you know, like, and trust and that you think are going to be here for 20 or 30 years. And then really just set it and forget it. If that is a little bit too in-depth for you, then just focus on buying an index fund, something like Wealthfront or even like a Robinhood app, and then buying the Vanguard. There's a couple of them, but basically something that tracks the S&P 500, which is the index for the U.S. stock market. You're basically buying a bit of all the stocks in the S&P 500. And if you believe that the American economy is going to keep growing and you're pro-America and pro the businesses that make up that bucket of companies, then just buy that on a monthly basis, whatever you can contribute, and then set it and forget it. That's the key. There's a path towards wealth for everybody if they just did that. And there is so much growth still in our potential. I mean, we pretty much dominate the tech space. We dominate innovation. We're going to dominate a lot of these other things like hopefully AI and self-driving cars and things like that, because the big companies that are US-based companies, Google, Facebook, Amazon, Apple, are going to probably lead the way. So I would just set it, forget it. Buy the companies that you use, that you like and trust, and then just commit as much money as you can every single month doing so. A really good book to read on this is basically about the idea of saving 10% of your income no matter what. The Richest Man in Babylon. Very good book. That's going to be it for today's show. If you enjoy the show, give it a like, a thumbs up, a subscribe, any of those things that you know how to do that's going to support the show. I really appreciate that. And if you ever need to reach me, Colin at wildfoods.co. Also, you can follow me on Instagram at Colin Stuckert. I'll see you in the next one.